Part 3. The Return of the Forgotten Child. The next morning after the red moon appeared, the people of Kumbu gathered in fear and confusion. The elders met under the giant Udala tree at the center of the village square. The air was thick with tension, and whispers filled the air like restless spirits. "The gods are angry," said one man. "Our farms are dry, our children are dying. Perhaps the Dibia was right, the child we cast away lives." Others murmured, "Even if he lives, he is a child of the forest. He cannot walk among men." As they argued, a young boy came running from the path that led to the evil forest, panting and trembling. "I saw him," he shouted. "I saw a man coming from the forest." The wind followed him, and the trees bowed. The elders rose in fear. Women screamed and ran into their huts. The men armed themselves with machetes and spears. Moments later, a tall young man stepped into the village square. His hair was thick and black like the wings of a raven, and his eyes shone with calm power. It was Chike, the child they once threw away. A long time, silence filled the air. Then one of the elders, Azudo, stood and pointed at him with a trembling hand. "Are you, and what do you seek from us?" Chike looked around the village at the faces that once belonged to the people who had abandoned him. His eyes stopped on the blacksmith's hut, his father's old forge. His heart ached, for he remembered nothing of his mother or father, yet something deep inside stirred. "I am Chike," he said quietly. "Born in this village many seasons ago, you left me in the forest to die." A gasp swept through the crowd. The old women covered their faces, whispering prayers. "It cannot be," shouted one man. "No child survives the evil forest." But the Dibia, Ogbufi and Nana, came forward slowly. He looked into Chike's eyes and fell to his knees. "The gods are truly great," he said in awe. "The mark of the python is upon him, the same sacred sign that appeared to me in my dream last night. This is no ordinary man. He is the one the gods have sent to heal Kumbu." The villagers murmured again, unsure whether to bow or to flee. But then, the oldest woman in the village, bent with age and leaning on a stick, pushed her way through the crowd. She looked at Chike closely and began to weep. "My son," she whispered, "you look just like your father, Abadike." Chike's chest tightened. My father and my mother, where are they?" The old woman sighed deeply. "Your father died of sorrow 2 moons after you were cast away. Your mother, Enneka, could not bear the pain. She left the village and was never seen again." Tears filled Chike's eyes. The pain of his parents' suffering burned within him like fire. But he remembered Mama Enwei's words, return not as a child of anger, but as a man of peace. He closed his eyes and whispered, "May their souls rest with the ancestors." Then he looked up and said, "People of Kumbu, the gods have not cursed you. You cursed yourselves when you abandoned the innocent. But the gods are merciful. They sent me back, not for revenge, but to heal your land." The elders hesitated. One of them shouted, "Blasphemy! You speak like a god, yet you are the child of the evil forest." Chike walked calmly toward the dying village river, which had turned to mud. The people followed, curious but afraid. He knelt at the bank, scooped the muddy water in his palms, and whispered words no one understood. Then he placed his hand on the riverbed. A strong wind blew from nowhere. The sky darkened. Lightning flashed, and thunder rolled across the hills. Then, suddenly, the water began to flow again, clear and pure. The river roared to life, and the villagers gasped as fish leaped joyfully from the surface. "It's a miracle," a woman shouted. "The river lives again." The villagers fell to their knees in awe. Even the elders who doubted him lowered their heads. The Dibia raised his staff and proclaimed, "The gods have spoken through this man. Chike, the child of the evil forest, is chosen by the spirits." From that day, Chike became a symbol of hope. He healed the sick with herbs and chants Mama Enwei had taught him. He blessed barren women, and they conceived. He stopped storms by speaking to the wind, and he taught the farmers how to pray to the gods with clean hearts. The people of Kumbu began to see him not as a cursed child, but as a savior. They called him Nwa Muo, the spirit child. But not everyone was happy. Some elders feared that Chike's growing influence would challenge their authority. Among them was Elder Nkemjika, a proud and jealous man who had once led the decision to abandon baby Chike in the forest. He whispered to others in secret, "This boy may have powers, but he is not of us. If he becomes king, we shall all bow to a spirit." Would you like me to continue with part 4, where the jealous elders plot against Chike, leading to a great trial that ends with him being crowned king? That part will include betrayal, spiritual battle, and his destiny being fulfilled.